Welcome to episode 244 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent here. Jason's not with me this week, and I've got Michael Thrasher joining me.
Hello.
How's it going?
Great.
Mike's here instead of Jason because Vanilla Ice is our guest. That's something I never thought I'd say.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels good to say it. Jason couldn't make it to the show, so Mike here went with me, and we had an experience before and after the show.
An adventure.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about all that. But before we do, let me let you know that we're sponsored, as always, by DEB Concerts and MedFarm. MedFarm is a dispensary in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, located at 24683 East Highway 51, just about a quarter mile east of Anita Road. If you go in there and tell them that you heard about them on Thunder Underground or mention our name, they will give you 10% off your order. They've got a huge selection. They've got a doctor on site every Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And if you follow them on Facebook or Instagram, they're always posting specials. So get on there and do that. It's MedFarm, PHARM on Facebook. Instagram is MedFarmOK. And their website is medfarmok.com. And the most important thing is their slogan is Cannabis with a Cause. And 30% of their proceeds are going to help build no-kill animal shelters. They've already purchased land and a building, and they're working on setting the first one up. So that is very cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah, you can't beat that, because most of these dispensaries are just in it for 100% profit. So screw all the other ones.
Yeah.
MedFarm is the only one you need to support.
Save animals. Go to MedFarm.
There you go. DEB Concerts is a promoter located here in Tulsa, and they keep bringing rock and roll to downtown Tulsa to the Ideal Barn, and Thrasher's throwing his keys around.
I was shocked.
You know, in the words of Neil Fallon, give me the keys.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't really play into anything here, but
Well, it's okay. You can cut that.
no. But yeah, they keep bringing in bands downtown Tulsa like Saxon, Warrant, Vixen, Last in Line, Sebastian Bach, Striper, Bisto Blanco. A huge long list that keeps getting longer. This February 22nd was recently announced that Buck Cherry's coming to the Ideal Ballroom with Fist of Rage and Grind opening up. So if you hit up Grind or Fist of Rage for your tickets, you save like $10 a ticket, which is a pretty good deal. So get on Facebook and message Grind or Fist of Rage to get your tickets. Eddie Trunk will be hosting that show, as always. And DEB Concerts is also booking the D&B processing stage at Rocklahoma again this year. Last year they had Slaughter, Lita Ford, Ace Frehley, Bisto Blanco, and a huge long list of regional and local acts as well. And this year will be no different, and that announcement will be coming here in just a couple weeks.
Look for that.
Yeah, so big thank you to DEB Concerts as well. And I didn't say off the top, hope you had a Merry Christmas, because it's after Christmas now.
It is.
Yeah. But anyway, the subject at hand, Vanilla Ice.
Yes.
We went to this I Love the 90s show. So just to like jump into this, no, hold on. Let me step back for a second. I mentioned the Ideal Ballroom,
Yeah.
where all these shows that the DEB Concerts brings in.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually went there back before, we all went there before it was the Ideal Ballroom.
Yes.
But I can't even remember what it was called at that point.
I don't know.
It had like 3 or 4 different names throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw Vanilla Ice like 15, 17 years ago.
A long time ago. Just saw the Vanilla Ice was in town. Cheap tickets. Tuesday night, some oddball thing. I'm like, I'm going to go do this. I got to mark that off the list. So went there. Only thing I can recall is he was extremely late, and then there weren't a lot of people there. So he said, if you want to come backstage and hang out, which was okay, fine. You know, I'll go check that out. It was sponsored by Jaeger because there was a giant bottle of Jaeger right when you walked in, which I promptly grabbed and took down quite a bit of, and a lot of hazy moments of that night. I just remember somebody driving my car I'd only met twice. So I just said,
That's not your wife?
No,
Okay.
no. I just said, hey, I know you. Can you drive this car home and take me with it? And they said, sure. And and I got home, and yeah, that was it. So, but there, a lot of moments, a lot of good times at that night, but I don't recall a lot of it clearly now. So that was kind of what happened.
Nice. Well, we actually talked about that in this interview with Vanilla Ice.
Yes, we did.
And I saw him here like, well, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago in Shawnee. And it was just one of those same kind of things. It wasn't that expensive. And we were just like, it's Vanilla Ice. Let's go.
You have to do it.
Yeah. Because, I'm not going to lie, back in the early 90s, I like Vanilla Ice.
We used to talk about Vanilla Ice. And it was like one day we had to go do it just to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We didn't go when he came here in 1991 with MC Hammer.
No, because back then, that's different.
Yeah.
Now you go.
Yeah, back then it's like, hey, I like Anthrax and Metallica and Guns N' Roses. I can't be seen at the Vanilla Ice MC Hammer concert, even though I would have been happy to go that year. I'm not going to lie. But, to bring it all full circle, we saw MC Hammer finally at the Tulsa State Fair many years ago.
Yes.
And fun fact about that, you can tell that story.
I let one of the dancers take my daughter backstage and get a picture with MC Hammer.
Yeah, the best part is the backstage at the Tulsa State Fair, is behind the stage in a fence, and they've got like a set up tent that's like blocked off.
Mm-hmm.
And the dancers just standing out there talking to people, and Mike just hands his daughter over the fence to this guy and just trust him that he's going to come back.
He seemed nice. It's a tent. I'll hear something. I don't think I'm going to have to jump railing. I think we're good.
Right.
And it seemed to work out.
Yeah.
We have a great picture.
Yeah, she came back.
Yeah.
Fully intact and with a picture. So.
And probably not understanding why she went back there, but have a good picture.
Yeah.
So.
I do remember trying to get her to scream, "Please, Hammer, don't hurt him." And she kept saying, "Hammer, hurt him."
Yeah.
Or something along those lines.
She had to have been 4, maybe 5. Very light.
Yep. She can tell our friends this now and they won't even know who it is.
Exactly.
Current times here. This I Love the 90s was in, mid-November?
Mm-hmm.
Who else was there? We had Rob Bass, Salt and Pepper.
Tone Loc.
Tone Loc, of course, and Biz Markie. I think that was it. Yeah. And then Vanilla Ice headlined. Tone Loc was great. I mean, we saw everything up until Salt and Pepper, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I think even part of Tone Loc. So anyway, we're at the show, messaging with the tour manager, which is actually a part of Vanilla Ice's touring
DJ?
group. Yeah, it's DJ's Chopsticks.
Okay.
And he, had messaged and told us, where to go after the show to do the interview and everything. And he sent a message while we're sitting there watching, I don't know, I think Rob Bass or something, and said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in dressing up and getting on stage with Vanilla Ice?" And both of us were just kind of like,
I was flat out against it because I'm just like, no. And then there was a pause. I kind of paused. I'm like, that's what that's about. Let's just find out. Let's just see. Let's just see.
Yeah, my first instinct is no, because I can't dance to save my life. And it's like, what do you mean by dress up and all this? And it's just kind of like, but then at the same time, like I said, let's find out what this is about, because you want to be able to tell this story for years to come, right?
Possibly, or not.
So anyway, we asked what's up, and he said, you'd put on polar bear costumes and just come out, dance around for a bit during a song, and he'd come back out later on for some more songs, something like that.
Yeah. Just act a fool is what they told me, and I'm just like...
And he said, you don't have to dance, just move around.
Yeah,
I'm like, well,
I'm in.
Yeah, we're like, okay, we've got on costumes, so even if you're thinking, I might be a little nervous going out on stage because I'm not like a performer, but then it's like, I'm going to be covered up, so who cares?
Mm-hmm. I mean, why the hell not?
Right? So we get back there, and it's the costumes that blow up with air, basically.
Mm-hmm. These are brand new ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It has a little battery pack thing on it that fills it up with air. At first we put these things on and you get in them standing around backstage. I'm like, this, you look at that thing, this is going to be hot and it's filled up with air. I'm like, oh, this isn't that bad. But I'm not thinking it's because we're standing backstage.
Exactly.
In the nice air-conditioned River Spirit Casino.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we walk out on stage and start moving, it becomes like a freaking sauna.
Yes.
But as we're standing there getting ready to go out, I think that might have been the second time, because we went out. Yeah, we went out during Ninja Rap.
Yeah.
And then he told us to come back off, and then he would have us come back out again.
Yeah.
And when we were standing there to come back out again, Tone Loc walked up and was just standing there between us for like a couple minutes, which is just, I was just sitting there just like, this is the weirdest scenario that could have ever happened probably right now.
Yeah. Salt and Peppa laughed at us.
Yeah, they walked by and she said, "What's up, honey?" or something like that. Like, this is just like surreal as hell.
It's a weird 90s nightmare.
Yeah.
A good one.
Yeah. Then we go back out on stage and we're out there for like another 3 songs. So we're out there for like, I think, a total of 4 songs or something. And I had to keep, I pulled my hand out of the arm thing and was wiping off the screen because it kept like fogging up and like was just like actual water on it because it was so steamy in that thing. And it's like, I knew I wasn't going to like, people were all around because he brought up all those people. And I mean, I never ran into anybody or tripped over everything. So that was.
I snuck up behind you and pushed you a couple times.
Yeah.
Like I'd run it behind you and then you turn around like, what the hell's this? And then I'd just go back over there and start doing everything. Like, I don't even know if you saw me. So.
Well, yeah, by the time I reacted and I saw it was you were already like almost back. And I was like, damn it. I was like, we could have like a freaking old school, like, WWE showdown like we did at Oklahoma State.
We could have.
That would have been funny if we just like, now thinking about it,
Next
we just
time.
went off script and just like body slammed one another or something.
The third Vanilla Ice experience is going to happen.
That's right.
I expect the third one. This is a trilogy in the making.
Right. Yeah, I remember I was telling different people about it after the fact, and I'm like, when you explain this to someone, it sounds like an acid trip or something.
No, everything does.
You explain the whole night?
Everything does. I mean, the first time I met him, I said, you know what? I feel like I'm living in one of those really fucked up Charlie Murphy True Hollywood stories. Because we were sitting around doing trivia backstage, just weird like riddles and trivia. I don't even remember most of it aside from when I asked him that he didn't even, you know. But no, it's just it's weird. It's nothing else can be said.
That's right. Well, let's get into this interview then, and then
let's do it.
Talk a bit about some of the stuff he says when we come back.
All right.
All right, here's Vanilla Ice.
Horse? Is that what that is?
BoJack Horseman.
What is it?
BoJack Horseman is a Netflix show.
Netflix was not in the 90s.
No, it's a show that's on Netflix about. It's an animated show.
Like Stranger Things, like how they dress in the 90s and shit.
No. It's
a cartoon.
It's a cartoon, basically.
Oh.
This horse was famous in the 90s, like he was a famous
TV
actor.
show.
Oh, that's the plot. Okay.
Yeah, and then basically it's a whole going into depression, coming out of it. Type of thing.
It's
pretty
good.
deep for a
It's
cartoon.
really
Kind of adultish.
It's very adultish.
All
There's a lot of it I can't watch with my children.
Right.
So,
all right.
no, it's like, you know.
Isn't it crazy they make these cartoons like that are not for kids?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like tricks your head, man. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Cartoon rated R? What the
Exactly. Like, there's one episode about abortion. It's like, I'm not ready to discuss this with my children.
fuck?
So,
Not a good one.
no. But it's very, it's probably my favorite.
Sound like you spend a little time on Netflix like myself. Bag of chips.
Yeah.
Sitting there. Fuck, bag of chips and underwear. Netflix is one of the best times ever, man.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about Netflix is we did not have that in the 90s.
No, we didn't. I mean,
That would have blown your mind in the 90s. Like, I can just watch anything I want.
I know. But I kind of missed going to Blockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
I missed, just getting out of the house for a minute
Oh, yeah.
and looking at every fucking DVD case,
Exactly.
getting a bag of popcorn, finding one movie,
Exactly.
and then going home to like watch that movie. And it's like, here it is. It's coming on.
It was like an event. Yeah, you go there.
Now you got 9 million. You watch it 10 seconds. I didn't like it. Let's go to another one. Fuck that one. Fuck that one.
Or you spend 20 minutes looking for something, you're like,
And you never find anything.
Yeah, and then you're just like,
I did that the other day. So true. So true.
No, it's
Too much. Yeah. And now I don't even know where it's going with all this streaming shit. And
It's all changing.
everything is changing, man. I can't keep up with it.
We were just talking about Disney Plus that came out. So, that's going to change everything. So,
Streaming.
yeah.
What's next?
I don't know. Like, that's how,
We're all going to be driving around with these fucking goggles on. You seen them things where you can, like virtual reality?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's going to live in cyber world.
that's what it is.
It's going to be scary.
Everybody's already in their phones.
Let my Tesla drive me. I'm going to sit here and play video games.
You're on stage. You see it all the time. Or does everybody has their phones? Compared to what
They're talking about doing a concert where they can actually have a what's it called? Where they take the camera and they go around you and they make it.
360.
They got what's it called? Where it looks real. They did it Elvis in Vegas. Hologram.
Yeah.
So they're doing holograms. I got a buddy of mine that has a hologram studio, and he's talking about instead of doing dead artists, doing live artists,
Yeah.
and selling them to cruise ships.
Holy shit.
That could work.
So it'd be like, hey, we want to do you, man. So you're saying Vanilla Ice can perform without being there? That's awesome.
That could honestly work.
That means I can build some houses while you guys are performing.
That could easily work, though, because, you go on a cruise, you see some guy playing that nobody cares about. But
I'll
then
tell
it's
you
like,
right
hey, there's
now.
a hologram, you have artist A, B, C, or D. There's money.
There's money, bro. You can get a few of them out there.
Yeah.
Just breaking the dough. But I did see the one on Elvis in Vegas, and I'm going to tell you right now, I thought he was there.
Really?
I swear I couldn't tell. There was a real person standing next to him. I couldn't tell the difference.
Really?
It was that good.
Huh.
But you know Vegas, they're going to do everything.
Oh, yeah.
But the way technology is,
Oh, yeah.
look at CG when it first started. Now you can barely tell the difference.
Oh, yeah.
It's real as shit. It's like, damn.
So you would be cool with that personally? Yourself performing?
I'd have to go see it.
Okay.
I'd have to see it first and see how it works because I'm OCD, man. I would critique the shit out of it. Make sure the lights are dimmer.
Oh, yeah. That would be cool.
Well, it's similar to what I go to CES and I introduce a lot of shit in my TV show, and they have wallpaper TV coming out. It's like 4K and it's flexible LED paper.
Oh, wow.
And then they got this a 3D projector which I installed once, and it's in the screen, so without the glasses you can have 3D. And the way it works is they've got like 7 screens, and it's really thick.
Yeah.
But if you flush mount it and make your wall go back, so you don't see the depth of the screen.
Sure.
But when the light hits it, there's a little light coming through around it, and it lights up the one behind it, and behind that lights another screen and another screen. And you can see it, and you're sitting there watching it, and you're like, damn. You feel like you could really jump into the screen and, like, be a part of the movie.
So when are they...
It's that clear.
That could come out in a theater.
It's beyond 4K. It's 5K or fucking whatever, but it's crazy. Wherever they're going with this technology is orbit.
So in 20 years, you'll go to a movie theater and not even need glasses.
No, 20 years you won't even have a movie theater. You're going to be part of the movie. You're going to actually you're going to be like, I'm going to go into Gone with the Wind or some shit.
Yeah.
And here I am. I'm sitting here in fucking 1920s in the Gone with the Wind. I'm going to interact and change the whole script.
I can go with that.
I'm going to be Johnny Knoxville in the middle of the fucking Gone with the Wind.
That'd be worth the $50
Right?
Yeah.
$50, that'll be a bargain.
Yeah.
By the time that comes out, it'll be $150, $250 for a tip. My mom used to tell me I used to go to the movies for a nickel. Are we rolling right now?
Yeah.
Oh, we've been rolling. That's good conversation.
That's the good stuff when people are talking about other shit they don't normally talk about, right?
Real shit, bro.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
But like our podcast is mainly based on rock music and stuff.
Okay.
So I do have to ask you about Hard to Swallow.
Hell yeah.
Like, I love that album. And do you look back on that time? Like, do you look back on it fondly in your catalog?
The most therapeutical record I've ever made.
Really?
And yeah, I tapped into a lot of my demons, man, and stuff most people kind of tuck away and hide. I had to get it out. So I didn't know it, but I met Ross Robinson, who produced this record, and we had some good conversations, and he had brought that out of me. He says, we need to get those demons out, because I was writing about a bunch of shit, and then I went in the studio and I go, Ross, I got a problem. We got the whole band here. We're ready to record. We're waiting for you. What's the news? I said, bro, all my shit that I've been writing is depressing as fuck. You've sit over here, got me tapped into all my demons, and I'm writing about him. He goes, let me hear it. So I gave him some, just a cappella, right? He goes, that's fucking awesome. I'm like, it is? I thought people want to hear music to be happy, dance, and enjoy life, right? Which is true, and you do. But there's also another side of music where, as a musician, you can use it as therapy, right? So I started writing, man, and I wrote some incredible stuff that I never thought about writing before, right?
Yeah.
And this record is so heavy and so orchestrated well that it literally will set your head on fire when you listen to it in a good way, in a really good way. And I mean that like you just want to. After you hear it, you're energized, but you're also you feel like you've just had $1,000 worth of therapy for free.
But when you were writing that, was it written in mind with having metal music to it, or was it just writing it? And
I rap over anything. You can play Frank Sinatra, I'll rap over it. I don't give a shit. I'll rap over heavy hardcore. But I tell you one thing: the way I was writing, it couldn't have been orchestrated in any other way than the way it was orchestrated through the rock and the heavy. And to work with some of the greatest legends in hardcore history, like Shannon Larkin as a drummer, or Sonny Mayo as a guitar player. After his lead singer died from snot, he comes over immediately and plays with me on my record. I was just like, whoa, I got these legends here, man. I've got, Doug Ardito from Puddle of Mud, fucking Skeletor from Weezer, Scott Schreiner. That dude's awesome. Who else did I have, man? Doug Ardito, the guitar player, Sonny, and then, oh my God, so many people. What was the guy? Velvet Revolver.
The guitarist?
Yes.
What was his name? Dave something?
Dave
Kushner.
Kushner.
Yeah.
He was the other. I had 2 guitar players, 2 bass players, and a drummer. I mean, it was literally a wall of sound. And when you come see it live, it was emotional. People get so energized, unbelievable. I wasn't sure how people would perceive it because I wrote it. A lot of people didn't even believe it was me. They're like, that's not Vanilla Ice. Fucking, you got to be kidding me that that's Vanilla Ice. There's no way.
But that makes it interesting. Like, because whenever you put something out that you're not expecting,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yep.
So
I thought I'd sell like 10 copies of that, and it sold 3 million records, and still counting. I'm still collecting royalties on that thing, and I thought it wasn't going to sell at all because of how hardcore it was, not radio friendly at all, and very depressing at certain times, but in a good way because people adapt to it. They can relate to it.
yeah,
Some of the songs I can't even hear anymore because it puts me back in that frame of mind where I don't want to be.
I understand.
But it shows you that music can be therapy.
Exactly.
And that was a very personal record to me, hard to swallow, and very close to my heart. My most personal record ever.
But when you talk about that point in time, you're writing all this depressive stuff, and then look at you now, and you're always talking about smiling and being happy and all that. Like, What are you most proud of in the last 20 years since then?
Well, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be. I always say we are who we are because of who we were. So what does that mean? Without going through that hard to swallow phase, I don't think I'd be where I am today. So I owe a lot to Ross Robinson for pulling those demons out of me. I was bitter at my old self. I didn't like Vanilla Ice. I went on Surreal Life and was pissed off at Vanilla Ice because I was just over it. I was tired of it. I mean, what do you want me to do? Everybody wants me to jump around in fucking, hammer pants and sequins and shit. I'm like, there's a real person here, man.
Yeah.
And I remember I graffitied, I stole some spray paint from the garage, and I graffitied the whole set on Surreal Life, Be Yourself. Because they had all these pictures of the old me, and they wanted me to be the old me when I come on there, and I'm like, no, I'm rebelling right now. I'm in my rebellion phase. I didn't want to play Ice Ice Baby. I swore that I'd never play it again, and, and I met Ron Jeremy. I met Chips, Eric Estrada, and the greatest of all, Tammy Faye. And they all told me, some great little phrases, man. Just listen, wipe your ass with that. you need to get those demons out of you and be yourself. That's who people love. People love you, man. They remember that shit. You're the one that's got the hang up with it. You know, you need to enjoy your life, lighten up, not take everything so damn serious. You know, because I took music real serious, you know. And now I don't take anything serious, including myself. And I find it's much easier in life, man.
Yeah.
I don't do politics, religion. I do pina colada party. That's me, man. Give me a beach and I'm set. Beach, and I do my construction. I love that. That's good therapy for me. You know, it gives me a purpose to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. Get my cup of coffee.
Season 10 confirmed on that?
Oh yeah. We're doing more than that. We're doing. I got a couple more shows I'm doing too. I'm doing that, and I got a car show I'm doing for History Channel Sunday mornings between 9 and 12. It's called Mythical Rides. It's coming on third quarter next year, but before that, I'm doing the project, more construction. They're shifting it over to HGTV from DIY.
Okay. Yeah. So do you ever find time to like rest or time for yourself with all these projects going on? Or
it's hard to rest. I find my sleep on the airplanes. I'll sleep when I die, man. I'm living it up right now. I made it past that hurdle. Thank God I made it past the 27 club. It almost got me. 27 was a rough year for me, boy. I had a weekend that lasted 3 years when I turned 27. That's what led to Hard to Swallow and like where I am today. But smiles are contagious. You learn everything. Wisdom comes along the way.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I am today, man. Just a big fucking beacon of positivity, because it seems like we went through the 90s and everybody had that kind of phase where, Korn was out and all the heavy bands and shit, and everybody's like, I hate my father, I hate my mother, I was abused, everybody sucks, fuck this, I can cuss on the record, fuck you, fuck that. And it's just over. And we had a kind of a depressing end to the 90s, really, to be honest with you. I kind of enjoyed it, but I knew it wasn't going to last.
Yeah.
And, it's funny because it started with Kurt Cobain, and it stopped like all those bands trying to figure out from Seattle what the fuck they're going to do now.
Yeah.
And none of them have a record out anywhere at all right now. There's not really one rock and roll record that's successful right now. So what are we doing? We're going back now, and we're listening to all the cool shit from the late 90s, like Korn and Limp Bizkits and Sepulturas and Slipknots and good heavy shit that I love.
Yeah.
I'm a motocrosser, so I'll listen to that shit going to the motocross track and get out and fucking shred. I love it.
Is there anything new that's come out that you've been kind of hooked on lately? Or?
Hardcore?
Yeah.
There is no new hardcore. You have to go back to the old shit.
Okay.
Rock and roll is dead right now.
Okay.
It's been dead for a while. Since 2000, pop culture died. Here's the problem.
Okay.
Pop culture died in 2004 when the iPhone came out. Because all we have to show for from 2000, it's almost 2020, bro.
Yeah.
Next month it's 2020. That's 20 years of what? Here's the way pop culture works. It's the people. The people make it, right? Not the musicians, not anybody. It's a sign of the times. And wherever people gravitate to, that's what pop culture is, whether it's fashion or music, right? So, pop culture, I own the pop culture pretty much of the 90s. And, from the baggy pants, zigzag hairdos, the eyebrow, shave the eyebrow, white people dancing, doing the Running Man, Air Jordans, Z Cavricis, Mustang 5.0s, nostalgic, all of it, right? Sign of the times. You play the music, all that shit comes back. You know who you were dating in high school. You know what kind of clothes you were wearing that you were embarrassed of. Whatever. And from 2000 to 2020, what do we got to show for? Let's go 100 years down the line, and you look back at 2000 to 2020. What defines it? Nothing. It damn sure ain't Justin Bieber. It ain't going to be, you know why? Because of computers. So what defines 2000 to 2020? Computers. It's the computer age. We invented them in the 90s, but we didn't grow up on them.
Yeah.
They're growing up on them. These kids are way smarter than us. So I don't know where the future's going. George Jetson's pretty close to focus now, but I tell you, the 90s was the last of the great music decades of pop culture because you have the early 90s, which was me coming out of the 80s. You had the breakdancing phase, get your cardboard box, spin on your head. I made $40 a day chasing girls around the mall, eating pizza, having change left over. 14 years old, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
They don't do that no more. Breakdances is gone.
Yeah.
Scratching and DJing, gone. Grunge rock, gone. Kurt Cobain came in the late 90s, right? Set that whole thing apart, and then that faded out, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
What is it right now? I look at my kids, man, because they're kind of that generation. She was born, my daughter, one of my daughters was born in 2000. I'm like, what is cool to you guys? What do you listen? They listen to crazy EDM shit, and like everything's digital. It's all just somebody at their home studio, Calvin Harris, or and nothing against them because I've been to some EDM concerts and they're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I can't just sit there in the car all day and go. But when you go live, it is a cool feel. If you go, I don't hate on any kind of music.
Yeah.
There's great EDM, there's bad EDM, there's good rap, bad rap, good country, bad. I don't give a shit. There's just bad rock, good rock. But some of that EDM is pretty good shit when you're there live.
Yeah.
But I cannot hear it with a road trip.
Yeah.
You just can't.
There's so much you can
Unless you have a designated driver and a big bottle of Don Julio 1942 and a bunch of dudes in a car who just feel like raging, which is a rare moment.
This guy hung out with you like 15 years ago and had a
I
question
have a
about
picture.
Let's see it, man. Come
I
on.
gotta find it.
Show me something.
it. More importantly, you had
This
a,
was 15 years ago.
Oh,
You
look
and
at
me.
your mullet. No.
No, there's no mullet.
I know.
Me and you.
Oh, I got a Starlight tattoo, man.
Yeah.
That's a great shirt.
There's a lot. This is on a tour, I think, Jaeger sponsored.
I kind of still look the same, man.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a lot older.
yeah.
We,
That's because it was bad cameras back then.
that was a horrible camera. But you had
That's a good
We
photo.
had riddles. We were going back and forth. Like, I don't know how long.
I
It's 15
speak in
years.
rhymes, and I have to tell myself not to. Like, it comes out that way because I'm a freestyle rapper. I mean, like, I'll be sitting there on my TV show, and I'm like, I did not mean to say that. It just rhymed, and I have to purposely think of something that doesn't rhyme.
Oh, I think this is more a haze of time than Jaeger at the time.
Oh, Jaeger.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Oh,
Jaeger. There was
haze
a
of
giant
Jaeger.
bottle of Jaeger when I came in because you were late. You invited everybody back. There was a
Were we
giant
doing, yeah, I did. I don't drink that shit no more. It's
I
been a
know
long
that
time
night.
for that. Jaeger, that stuff is like cough syrup now. Woo!
But you
I
had-
loved it at one point.
Oh yeah. Oh, I loved it that night.
God, I can't stand it now. Isn't it weird how things change?
Yeah, it's age, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
age.
yeah. But I remember that stuff right there, boy. Shit.
Yeah.
Jaeger, lots of that was consumed.
Oh yes. It was-
And we were probably doing Trivial.
Yes.
Like, I love doing Trivial. I just did one the other day. I found out there's only 4 teams in the NBA that don't end in S.
Oh,
well,
wow.
Thunder. I know that.
Thunder.
One of them. That was an easy one. Come on, let's guess.
Heat.
There's 2.
There's Heat.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Oh man, here we go. Girl.
Ponder.
Um,
All right.
Jazz.
That's 2. You got 2.
No, 3.
That's
Now we
Heat,
said
Jazz, Heat,
Thunder.
Jazz.
Oh, you said Heat?
He said he.
Okay,
Thunder,
that's
Heat,
3.
Jazz, and is it East or West?
I'm not giving it away.
Come on.
I'm gonna let you ponder on that one.
Oh.
And here it is. Let the guest marinate on it.
Okay. That's good.
And another one for you
Okay.
is 5. I think there's 5 NFL teams out of all of them that are actually in a state capital. Because capitals are usually not the main city in each state. They're usually like a less populated city, like the 3rd largest, or like Texas is Austin.
Yeah.
It's not Dallas or Houston.
Sure.
What's Oklahoma? Tulsa.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
Columbus is Ohio, so it's not that
See,
knocks out.
you're going to run through every state now,
Yeah.
and you're going to try to find out which
It's not Florida. Any of
NFL
those
teams. All 3 NFL teams in Florida, not
Yeah.
one of them in a capital.
Not the one in New York.
Because Tallahassee don't got no football team.
No.
Yeah, the one in New York.
They got a
The two
football
are in
team, but
Jersey.
it's not college. NFL.
Denver.
Oh, you got one.
Denver.
Denver. You got one.
That's it, Stevie.
I'll give you another one.
Is Seattle the
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
New Orleans is not the capital. State capital.
State capital.
Is Seattle the capital of Washington?
Nope.
No.
Tacoma.
Oh, okay.
Baltimore.
Nope.
No.
What's the capital of Maryland?
Hanover?
Andover. That's right.
Yep. You're going to ponder on this
My
one.
daughter can hear this because I stressed her.
All right, here's another trivia for you. Let the guests
St. Louis.
ponder. No.
Jefferson City.
Oh, just
No. 5 teams. You've guessed what? 3, 2?
Three.
You got 3.
Okay.
You got 2 more. You're going to have to go home and
Yeah.
don't
I'm
cheat.
not gonna,
Don't
I
Google
won't
this
cheat.
shit.
I will not do that.
All right, so then you got, all right, here's one. This is always a trick. This is a trick for you. We all know Charlie Brown, right? The cartoon.
Yeah.
Who's the piano player?
I almost said Linus, but it's not.
Everybody says Linus, but he was the guy, the dirty guy with the blanket.
Yeah.
Never took a shower.
Oh my god.
Or no, Linus was his friend. The dirty one was.
Yeah.
Pigpen.
Pigpen was the. You're right. You're right.
Like,
But who was the piano player? You remember?
I can picture him. But
You can picture him jamming. Boy, had his
We
head
should know
down.
this.
Could never reach the pedals.
Oh my god, do you go through every Charlie Brown episode?
Uh-huh.
Figure this out?
I'm not telling.
I don't want you.
We
I
don't
will
give
not
away
do
the
it.
answers
I
here.
will
We just give you the.
propose it.
Yeah, we propose it. You figure it out.
Okay, yours I could have.
So remember that.
15 years ago, I could have Googled this. This is how I'll stand by this because I was like, I will ask you when I'm sober. I'm sober now.
Yep.
$100 bill split between 3 people as a tip. Where did the extra dollar go? That's all I remember.
Wait, what now?
You gave me there was this thing, we were doing this 15 years ago.
Yes.
There was 3 people that got a $100 tip. So where did the extra dollar go? That's all I remember. And you said, you'll figure it out when you're sober. And I
I
was like,
forgot that one. Now I know. I remember
Yeah.
something like that. There was a joke I had, and it was a riddle,
yeah.
and I can't remember it for the life of me.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You're just
Now
stuck
I'm gonna
forever.
go. So you put one on me. So
Okay.
now I'm gonna go from here, going, what the hell was that?
In 15 years, we will do this again.
Oh no, it's gonna come to me when I get down the hallway because I ponder on shit. It drives my brain crazy.
Oh, it's been driving me crazy for a while. So
You remember that? I forgot all about that. That's that Jägermeister
in
on
the
me.
haze of Jaeger. I remember that.
It's probably during
I
that-
went back and forth for
Yeah.
a long time, and I remember a line I said, "This is like one of those really fucked up Charlie Murphy
Yeah.
stories." Right? I remember saying that. Like it was a lot of Jaeger that night.
I'm gonna remember that.
So
That was probably during that weekend that lasted 3 years.
I don't know. I honestly don't even remember. Like it was so long ago. I know I think it was me and my wife's first date. Well, wife now at the time. So.
I can show you a trick, but it won't translate for the audience watching.
That's all right.
Hey, good to see you guys. I'll show you the trick though. I'll show you right now.
There you go. Rob Van Winkle himself, Vanilla Ice. A huge thank you to Chuck Kwan for helping put that together and for inviting us to the meet and greet before our interview as well. And also, of course, a huge thank you to Vanilla Ice for taking the time out to talk to us there for and I mean, we were sitting there talking to him for 25 minutes, I think.
Oh, easily 30, maybe 40 minutes. It was a while.
Yeah. And I mean, because there was a little before this thing started and quite a bit after. And then another thing, like at the end of I think the end of the interview there, like he says, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was alluding to getting up, and he went over and after he was talking about all those, riddles and trivia and that kind of stuff, he's like, here, I got to show you this. And he started this cup game.
Yes.
And he literally spent like another 15, 20 minutes, like making everybody try this game, and everybody failed. And I think, didn't you get it at the very end? Or
I understand it now. I was at that point, I was exhausted,
Right.
and my Vanilla Ice experience had wore me down to where I was just done. And the next day I did it, and I was like, I could do this every time. This is not that difficult. And I kind of feel like a fool, but no, it was fun though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool experience. And yeah, the whole thing from beginning to end, like I said, a big thanks to Chuck Kwan again for all that and for making all that happen. And one thing I wanted to bring up is we've got to talk about this because we're a rock podcast. And he made those comments where he's like, there's nothing rock out there or whatever, and then I think you asked, like, is there anything out there, like, heavy-wise that you like?
Everything
that
you're
you're
listening
listening
to at the moment.
And he said, there's nothing out there. And
Wow.
I'm just like, and then he went on and, like, started talking about some other stuff with, like, pop culture-wise of the decades, and all that makes perfect sense in what he was saying, but he's completely wrong about there not being anything out there. And but I get it when you come from a different world or you're like not paying attention to rock. Cause it's not heavy in the mainstream, cause you've got like this year you had, Tool and Slipknot both had #1 albums, and Tool's hung around there for a little bit. And then, but before that, really, what was it? Metallica 3 years ago.
Sure.
And then random here and there, like, Five Finger Death Punch or another Slipknot album a few years ago. But for the most part, it's not mainstream and it's not on Billboard, but there's like every band you can think of
Sure.
from that era or whatever still putting out music, and a ton of it's still high quality.
Mm-hmm.
But what he said was, and he talked about it in that sense of it not being mainstream, which is correct.
Yes.
So I don't know. I guess you could just take it either way.
I think we all he had a little bit to drink. It was getting late in the night. I think he was just spouting at that point.
Right.
There were a couple things where you kind of say but also you just want to say just keep going. Just
Yeah.
keep talking.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to cut off Vanilla Ice.
No, I'm not going to argue.
If he's just going to keep talking, I'm like, keep talking.
I'm not going
This
to
is-
argue about Slipknot with Vanilla Ice. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
I mean, it's just not worth it.
It would be a great story, though.
Well, I think we already tapped
That-
out.
well, that's
enough. I mean,
Yeah.
on this one. So the third one, we might argue about Slipknot for some reason.
Yeah, we can bring up something just to argue about, right?
Sure. But you don't really, I mean, he's incredibly nice. So it's not one of those things where you really want to argue with him or piss him off. I
Right.
mean, it's a weird, it's odd.
Yeah.
It's an odd dilemma.
He did mention whenever we met him there in the dressing room when we were getting into polar bear things. He walked
Uh-huh.
in like before the show.
I didn't see him, but I shook his hand. Yes.
Oh, did you have the thing on?
I was over me and I was fighting the,
That's right.
yeah.
And then when we first kind of talked to him more before the interview, I was wearing an AC/DC shirt, and he mentioned that that's my favorite rock band of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some random info for you.
Sure.
Should have brought that up during the interview, I guess, but
Well, I was wearing the BoJack Horseman shirt, and then he asked what that was about, and I was towing a line between part of this kind of dictates sort of what your career path has gone through.
Right.
So I didn't really want to get into it too much.
I left that in,
Oh, did
by the
you?
way. Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
I stumbled quite a bit when I was talking to him about that. Like, do not piss him off
no.
now.
But no, I mean, like you said, he's nice. He's extremely cool. And I think
Uh-huh.
you even mentioned at one point, like, when do you rest or something? Because
Exactly.
it's like, this guy's, it's not like he's out there constantly touring. He does a lot of spot shows here and there, but it's like he's always doing stuff even outside of that, and it's like,
Mhm.
obviously he's got all the reality show with the Vanilla Ice Project with the building houses and all that stuff. And
He has his own company, and
yeah, and I mean, he's doing that even whenever it's not on the show. you know?
Exactly.
That's like a full-time thing he does. And then he's got, like he talked about in here, some other shows coming next year as well. And he did that Amish thing a few years ago, which was great. If you've
Yes.
never seen that, that is fantastic
Uh-huh.
television, I promise you.
he's busy. He
Yeah.
even did an Adam Sandler movie, 10 years ago now?
Oh, that's right. That's my boy.
That's right.
Yeah. He should do more of that.
He needs to. We should have asked him, brought that up.
Yeah.
Maybe push that a little bit more
I'll put that in the notes for next time.
next time.
But yes, I mean, here we are. Like, this is episode 244, and this is the first rapper that we've got on this podcast. Thanks to Mike Thrasher.
Hey.
Right. We kind of spanned everything from all the rock genres, and then we got country with Shooter Jennings, and now we've finally ventured into the rap world. So
Where else can we can go to EDM?
That's
we can
right.
do that. What else?
yeah, and actually talked about EDM in this
We did.
interview.
That was brought up.
yeah. I don't know, some jazz fusion guy. I don't
That
know.
would be awesome. Yanni may not be too busy.
Right. But so here in the last few months, Vanilla Ice, Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses, Vivian Campbell from Def Leppard have all been on here. So it's like, if you had told me this in 1991 when I was 14, my head would have probably exploded. So here we are.
It's come a long ways.
Yes. But yeah, if you haven't checked out previous stuff and you want to, there's 243 previous episodes. And like I said, Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard. I've had on Gene Simmons from Kiss. Guys from, I don't know. If you're listening to this because you love Vanilla Ice, I don't know what else to say. But if you're listening to this just because you like music, we've had on guys from Seven Dust and Shinedown, Thin Lizzy, Megadeth, Warrant, Europe, all that. Tons of bands from the 80s and 90s like Tesla and Dokken, Junkyard, LA Guns, all that great stuff.
There's a plethora of podcasts.
Yeah, there's like we said, 200 plus episodes you can check out. And it's all on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Mixcloud. And you can find everything at TheThunderUnderground.com. Follow our social medias. YouTube is at The Thunder Underground. Subscribe there. All that great stuff. And next week we're going to have our best of 2019 episode where we talk about albums that came out this year that Vanilla Ice claims did not.
All that good stuff that Vanilla Ice does not know about.
Right.
Or doesn't care about. One of the two.
Right. Probably both. But
Probably.
no fault there. I still love Vanilla Ice.
We all do.
So yeah, anything else to talk about like random here since we're sitting here totally off subject? Are the Bills going to go to the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
We're going to lose in the first round. But I have little hope. Next year is the year.
You think they're going to, next year's the
We
bigger jump?
We beat New England next year.
Right.
Because we have cap room. Loads of cap room. So we're going to overpay for somebody good. Maybe two people.
Yeah, this year, I mean, they came close in both games.
They
I mean,
did.
they were close games. And one of them was without Josh Allen for the majority of it.
Yeah.
So.
They cheated and injured Josh Allen. And
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's New England. It's what they do.
No, I think that this coming weekend that the Eagles are going to lose and the Cowboys are going to win. And the Cowboys are going to get into the playoffs, and then the Bills and Cowboys will meet in the Super Bowl for a rematch. And the Bills will finally take it.
Cowboys aren't going anywhere.
I know, but I'm just
Giving
you hope.
It would be awesome. I got my Thanksgiving Day win, so I'm good. I'm good.
That's right.
They can do anything else past this point. Got the win on Thanksgiving.
All right. Well, I've got nothing left to go for, so I'm just making up random shit.
I've got nothing else. I've got nothing else.
All right. All right. Well, thanks again for listening, and thanks to once again to Chuck Kwan, Vanilla Ice, Med Farm, and DEB Concerts. And until next time.
You saw it, right? Try it. You got it now. I think he's going to get it before anybody. He almost got it. Yeah, you were one step off.
Come on, it just started.
He was just one step off. He had it.
Come on,
That's why they all ended up down.
y'all afraid to get it wrong? What happens if I don't get it right?
It's a friendly game, bro.
Yeah.
Thunder Underground, y'all.